It has begun. Oh, Holy Week. It has begun. Is your wedding garment ready? When you were baptized, you were told to bring that garment unstained to everlasting life. It's your wedding garment. Unless you, and I fear that unless you can understand what we celebrate this week in terms of God's desire to become one with you as in marriage, you can never appreciate what it is we're about. We look at this week and you think of God's tremendous love for us. Tremendous, unimaginable love that he has for each one of you. You know, we can easily look at it in terms of, yes, Jesus died for us and he loves us because he gave up his life in that way. But to understand the love that impelled God to do such is, in his own words, throughout all of Scripture, his desire to enter into a wedding contract, a wedding union with his people. So this week we celebrate the wedding feast of the Lamb. Wedding feast of the Lamb. How do we do that? What makes us think that? You looked at the scriptures that we've seen throughout Lent. What do we hear? We hear about Jesus going to a wedding feast. There were 6 stone jars and wine. And Jesus becomes the 7th. In other words, the fulfillment of that wedding. This is John. John will finish the book of Revelation with that wedding feast. We looked at the woman at the well. And again, what was there? It was marriage. She was married so many times. 5. One she was with then was not her husband. Jesus would be the 7th, the fulfillment, the completion. Then we looked at man born blind. It was on the Sabbath. Jesus now would become that new covenant. Over and over and over, the scriptures want us to know it is about a covenant. And marriage is a covenant. Marriage is a union that can only be broke by death. And so you and I look at our relationship with God and say, is God dead? No. So as long as God is alive, and as long as you and I maintain our part of that covenant, that marriage lasts. We are invited into an intimate relationship with God. Matter of fact, I don't know how many of you, we got a young crowd here. How many of you remember Bishop Sheen at all? You have to go back to the 1950s. Life is worth living. Bishop Sheen is well known to have talked about Jesus on the cross. And matter of fact, if you saw The Passion, Mel Gibson's version of The Passion, you see Jesus crawling on the ground, reaching out for the cross, because that is his marriage bed. That is where he himself will totally give himself to us. And Bishop Sheen said, when you look upon the cross, he says, my God, the nuptials are going on. Nuptials, I tell you. Nuptials? Because what happens? Especially in John's presentation of it. Jesus is on the cross and, as you know, he says, it is finished. What is finished? What began at the Last Supper with the Passover. The last cup would not be drunk until he is on the cross. He drinks from the sponge soaked in wine and says it is finished. And what is finished is the wedding celebration. The last cup. And as Jesus does that, what do we see John presenting? His side was pierced and blood and water pour out. Christians have always recognized that as baptism and Eucharist. Unions in which we come in both occasions. Jesus says, unless you do this, you will not have this. Unless you're baptized, you will not have life. Unless you receive my body and blood, you will not have life. For he who shares in his blood has life everlasting. And so we see that going on. And with that, we recognize Jesus is what? The new Adam. And if he's the new Adam, then who's the new Eve? None other than Mary herself, who is at the foot of the cross. And what happens? That's why Bishop Sheen says, these are nuptials. Because Jesus looks down and says, woman, that's the scripture definition of Eve in the Genesis. Woman, behold your son. Son, behold your mother. That with that union, Christ and our Lord, the wedding feast of the Lamb is completed, and the church is already growing. She already has children. So Mary is, in that sense, the representation of the whole church that gives birth to us. So when you and I were baptized, we went into the waters and we came out of the womb of the church. And we enter into a new life. And Jesus used words himself. He says what? Unless you're born again. He used the language of family, the language of being born. You and I are born into the family of Christ. And as such, now that we are part of that bride as well. And being part of that bride, what happens? Jesus says, I am yours. I am yours. I surrender myself totally on this marriage bed of the cross and have poured out my life to the last drop of blood. The last drop of blood. You could not be more totally loved, in other words. So you and I can only have one response. We come to the cross. We come to our Lord who says, I want to be in union with you. Matter of fact, maybe some of you need to think back about your love relationship. Most of you, I'm sure, had. Remember the first time someone said, I love you? Oh, I don't believe it. This person loves me? You know, like, wow, what a feeling that is. Huh? But Jesus is saying that to you, the Son of God. I love you. And if he has totally given us himself, what response can you and I make? Except with St. John Paul, to look back at him and say, totus tuus. Yes, Lord. I totally give myself to you as well. No other response can be satisfactory. Today, we begin Holy Week. We begin this journey towards the fulfillment of the wedding feast of the Lamb. And as we do so, look at each day. Matter of fact, I challenge you, even if you can't get to Mass, take time to look at the Scriptures and say, how many other connotations do you see that refer to marriage? How many other occasions do you see where it says how much God is saying, I love you? And you and I then are invited to fulfill this week, really on Good Friday, knowing that the wedding feast is ended. And Sunday is simply the climax of the marriage. The climax that says what you and I have in store for us. Eye has not seen nor ear heard, nor has it entered the heart of man what God has prepared. We can't even imagine how much that love is there for us and how much it's going to be for us when our day of resurrection comes. Let us this week celebrate each day as part of our journey as the bride of Christ.